See, you know the word of wine cellar, is Otto's
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
That they had that already when I was young.
Okay.
And when Uncle Julius, she's just 3 years younger than Uncle Julius. So she says, he had a key hanging there to go to the wine cellar. So she says, Grandma always looked. When Julius went, he was a little older, but the two of them talked it over that after Grandma had looked for the key, then she should take it and take it to him. Then he can take his friends to the wine cellar.
Mm-hmm.
So she says, they drank the good wine. They had good red wine and added, with them, there's
Yeah.
took it out with that and added from that. So Grandma went one day, she looked at it, she says she knew her wine. So she looked at it and she says, something is wrong with that wine. She just doesn't know why that wine is getting lighter and lighter. So she says, she called a neighbor over and he said, well, he doesn't know either. How can that happen? I mean, they knew how to make the wine. So she says, they never told her, and they went to Germany. After they were in Germany, she says, they told her, Julius and her told her what happened to that wine. She says, I'm never in my whole life going to talk to the two of you again. You're such a fool of me. But she says it was always that way, she looked and, well, everything is fine. He's not going to the wine cellar with his friend. So she says, they had really good red wine. I don't know if they still have the same grapes. So
Did you know this? Did you meet these people?
Yeah, she knows, he knows.
It was funny, Dave was saying that John, Dave used to swipe some of Johnny's vodka every once in a while, so, they'd get the kids together, drink some vodka, and they put water back in, eh?
Yeah.
So Johnny sort of got onto this, or he saw that his levels were going down and stuff like that, so he put a mark on the bottles. So Dave, just kept on adding stuff to the mark, but then what Johnny did is, turned the bottle upside down and marked it that way. so they didn't add it properly. So he comes along and says, seems to be some vodka missing here again.
It's been in the vodka again, I know.
Did you guys ever do that to your dad?
Grandma just knew her wine.
No.
But whatever she writes there, I mean, we were there. We knew about all, well, you've seen it.
I've seen it,
I mean,
yeah.
we lived all that.
Yeah.
I mean, our uncle, have you met him? They were here, Judy's wedding.
Well, Julius, yeah.
Yeah.
Uncle Julius, yeah.
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 He just died.
Him I know, yeah, he just died.
Well, he's only, I think, 3 years older than Katie.
Oh, yeah.
Really his niece.
Yeah.
So the two of them always cooked something up. Drink the wine.
Yeah, sure.
You need to get over there. You need to get over there before these people are gone.
Yeah, before, well, see, Bishto, one cousin, he sold his vineyard already. He can't work it.
Sold it?
Yeah, sold it. So, but that was the vineyard already when Grandma and Grandpa got married, So the Russians took that away when they came in. And my uncle bought it back for his boys. That was supposed to be Uncle Paul's, and half Uncle Paul's and half Uncle Julius's. Because, I mean, some of these guys left because there wasn't enough land to divide.
Yeah.
That's why all the three boys left. But my dad never wanted to go. He could have come to Canada. They had a good life there, But through the war, all that field was taken away. And so Uncle Paul said when he wanted to buy the vineyard back, they gave it to an old lady. So she wanted to sell it, and he said he'll buy it. So she says, that's a good piece of land. He says, you're telling me? This has been in my family for years and years, and you're telling me that this is a good piece of land.
Is she trying to raise the price, is she?
Yes, she wanted to raise the price. She said, this is a good piece. She said, you're telling me. So he had to pay for it.
What was your dad's name? I gotta get this straight in my mind here.
My dad.
Yeah, his name
Joe.
was?
Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe. Okay.
Oh.
See, here
Oh,
is
you got the
this.
We have a
charts.
tree.
Yeah.
See, here is Elizabeth Meyer, but I can fill you in with
Yeah.
that here. This is Elizabeth II.
Yeah.
Oh,
And this
right.
is Michael Meyer
Mhm.
and Theresa Koch.
Mhm.
And this is Elizabeth II. That's our grandma. She went
Mhm.
Florian Meyer. And
Oh,
Then-
Is this Grossmutter?
no, this is,
No.
okay, we're on the other side of the family.
The
Okay,
Meyers.
sorry.
Rosemutter is Grandma
See-
Meyer's mother, the
Yeah,
Vicks
okay,
family.
Right.
Okay, this is Grandpa Meyer's family.
So here we should really put that in. We should put her parents' name. John Secker and Elizabeth Theresa. Everybody was Theresa and Annie.
We noticed
We
that.
know.
Theresa Henn with Henn.
Oh, okay. Mhm.
So that's you. That would be your great great. That would
Wish I
our
had some stickies.
great grandparents. Your great great grandparents. And then here, see here is all your.
Oh, there we are. Okay, so your dad was
Michael,
Joseph?
Joe, yeah.
Yeah.
Your
That's,
dad,
that's the way they, Michael. One was born, his name was Michael, but he died. He died, the first one died. The
Hmm.
first one died.
Oh,
And then, well, the
Young,
second
or
one.
as a
Big.
little baby?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah.
More, in those days, mostly the first kid, I don't know why it happened.
Sometimes
It
long
was the
labors,
midwife, yeah.
maybe too long.
yeah.
Well, she has that in there, that grandma was, and then John, Florian, Joseph, Mariana, Paul,
Oh,
and Julius.
Wow, okay.
And then if you take that, see, this is all us. But you can get a piece of paper like
Okay.
that, you know, make a paper like that.
Yeah.
Then you can put Mary, your mother.
Yeah.
Well, your mother had a twin
Teresa,
sister.
Teresa, yeah.
Yeah, do you know what her name was?
Do you know what?
I think it was Eve.
Your sister, Teresa's twin sister, what was her name?
She,
I never thought about it before
I didn't.
to ask anybody. You think Ava? Like EVA?
yes,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because
How long did she
My-
live?
10 months.
Oh, really? That long?
That's a long time.
My mother said that she remembers when she died, and she says she kissed her
Mhm.
when she was dead,
Mhm.
because they lived in, your mom and, your grandpa, they moved in with Großmutter, Uncle John and your grandma. They moved in with Großmutter, and our mother was just 12, I think, or something like that,
Mhm.
when they got married.
This is in Hungary?
This was all in Hungary, yeah.
Oh,
We
yeah, it
used-
would be in Hungary, yeah.
We used to go,
Sorry.
we used to go and see that little grave and put flowers on it. That
Oh, yeah.
night.
Your mom was born in Hungary?
Yeah, she was. She was
Oh,
about
nice.
She was
2 years old when she
when
came.
she came here.
Yeah, 2 and 4.
I knew Mary was, I didn't realize Teresa
Mm.
was.
And then it's John and Tony
Yeah.
and Kenny. So you can make one of these
Okay.
with all your kids,
Yeah,
because this is all us.
yeah.
You got one with all your kids on it?
Yeah. So you can, and
Most
then
of your
you can
kids?
put you,
Yeah,
after your mother, you and your kids.
okay.
I guess we have, this is all, so we can fill it in.
Okay, so do you want me to take these away
Yeah,
and then make
you
copies?
take that. Yeah, you take that. I mean, no, you just make copies for your side, because we all have one.
You all have it now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I make some for
So
Kenny
we can-
and who else? Dave
Probably
or Judy if
nobody
they
else
want,
is
whoever's
interested,
interested.
yeah, probably nobody else.
Okay.
Actually, somebody should do it for Tony, or Jackie.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, for
Yeah.
Jackie, yeah.
Yeah, you take
They're
that.
So, I think I'll write on this right now then.
It's good that
So-
you haven't had any.
sorry.
this time.
So Elizabeth's parents?
Second,
Yeah.
yes, second, it's here, it's,
Mhm.
here is.
Do you know how to get a hold of Jackie to come to our place in June?
So.
The
her
cell phone
mother
number I
was
have
And
now
then
says
her
it's no longer in
dad's name
service.
was
Johan.
Johan Second.
You used to call when he'd come to
Did I
town.
write it here, Teresa? Is this
Yeah,
how you-
yeah, just write it.
Okay. Johan.
No, Johnny's the only one linked.
I spell that right?
Yeah.
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 Second. Yeah.
Safe to say that, like, because, you know,
And that's
Although
just
Tony
the
are
E
gone.
in Hungary, they put a just.
actually I like Johnny too.
Zucker, so like that?
Yes.
He had a real.
It's almost like
smart-
Zachary,
real level.
Yeah,
you know, the Zachars and Weisiger? Yeah.
But you know what? His name wasn't Seker, means in German Wagner. That's like
Oh,
Wagner.
really?
Oh.
Yeah.
And his name was Wagner, but he had a position, some people had to change their name around if they worked for the government, like Fixresi. her husband's name was Metzger.
Yeah.
And they changed it to Magyarovar because they didn't want the German
make
people.
it, make it Hungarian then, eh?
Hungarian, they didn't
Yeah.
want that. So this is Seker,
Yeah.
really Wagner,
Oh, really, eh? Yeah,
because he was a German too.
yeah.
And then
the
her
mother-
name, Theresia.
Oh, right, okay.
Theresa.
So you spell it T-H,
Yeah.
T-H-E-R-E-S-E.
Theresia, yeah.
the usual,
And Hen, yeah,
with an A.
yeah.
And H-E-N-N you said?
Yeah.
Was that German too?
Yeah.
To me it looks German,
Yeah,
but I need to
yeah,
ask.
they're all, well, the
Yeah.
whole town was German.
Oh, it was, eh?
And when we were born, we.
As you were very clear about. These were all Germans living in
Yeah,
Hungary,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well,
We didn't
it
know
was,
any-
it was a German village, I don't know, I
The
don't know
whole
it all,
town,
but.
yeah, everybody. If a Hungarian
Eventually
moved,
became
if a
integrated.
Hungarian moved in, they stayed for a month or two. Nobody bothered to speak to them, so they moved.
Oh,
We were like the French.
they
There
wanted,
goes the neighborhood, eh?
they wanted to keep it German then, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
So
and,
you s-
anyway, in
My
this,
sentiments are still the same.
This,
Nice to know something's passed down through the generations. It's important.
Now I know.
People in Alabama
Yeah,
and South
yeah.
Carolina would feel the same way you do, huh, child?
we went to school, we learned some, there was, like, your grandma could speak Hungarian better than my mother,
yeah. Mhm.
because she lived with her grandparents again. Now, see, Annie has Großmutter's passport,
Oh, yeah? Mhm.
and we never knew what her dad's and mother's name was. It's her Großmutter's dad was Matthew.
Matthew Fix.
Todt.
Oh, oh, right.
That was her maiden name.
Yeah.
Todt.
Okay.
How do you spell
And,
it?
T-O-T-H.
yeah,
Oh,
So Matthew, okay.
Todt. And we have to ask Annie because her mother's name is there too.
and it's, oh, I guess she wasn't married, so her parents' names would be on her passport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Okay.
yeah.
At that age, yeah.
So didn't Richard do any research into the past? Was he just gathering present information?
Who?
Richard,
Well, that's
Who's
what
Richard?
he
Who's
said.
Richard?
that's what he said.
Richard's the guy that did
That's
this
what
stuff.
he said.
Yeah, but, I mean, genealogies you trace back, you don't,
Well,
you don't worry
Richard,
about.
You gotta start somewhere, I guess.
yeah.
So, but he never went back, eh?
Well, he went back to,
Did he?
He went-
your grandparents.
He went to Germany, but he didn't speak that good German either, you know, so he just picked out somehow with Katie and Marianne, the
Oh,
names.
is that right?
So
Oh.
that's it, you know.
So he didn't go back very far.
So,
Well,
what's,
duty may fall
Obviously,
to
he
you
had
since
no
you
Mormon
speak
blood in
German.
him. Hmm?
Six, I mean,
Since the
that's,
duty may fall to you since
that's
you
no
speak German.
six
Need someone who
generations,
speaks
because
German.
that's Kenny's, this here,
This is
is
a detailed
Kenny's
person's
and
job.
my great-grandfather.
yeah,
And this is your great-grandmother and
Yeah.
great-grandfather.
So this must be your
So-
great, oh, just straight grandfather,
Our yeah, but Kenny's
great.
great grandfather,
so that's 6 generations.
yeah?
Yeah. Do you know about this, was he born there in Hungary too, or did he
Yeah.
come from Germany?
No, he was born in
He was-
Hungary.
he was
Oh,
in
yeah.
this place as well, he was Michael Meyer.
Michael.
Michael.
Michael?
Michael.
Yeah.
Michael.
Sorry, I don't speak.
Mishko. They said Mishko.
Mishko?
Mishko.
Is that the Hungarian way of saying it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Mishko.
Yeah.
And like your dad, everybody called Hansi.
Mhm.
And my dad, Yoshi. And then this, like Marianne, everybody called her, she has it in here, Miri.
Mhm.
Miri.
Mhm.
And Pauli.
Yeah, Pauli,
And Jula.
For you, yes, for
Jula.
Julius, yeah.
Like Dad still calls them Jula, my brother, Jula.
J-U-O-Y, Yula?
Yeah, Jula.
Mhm.
That's what he was baptized. That's in Hungarian Judaism.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Jula. So we know quite a bit, but gee, you know, it's always too late. But see, we could have asked your mother what her grandmother's name was, or, you know.
Mhm.
Well, in the end, we can't ask nothing. She phoned, they phoned just before you came.
Oh.
Martin phoned.
Yeah.
So she said, now we're going to see Martin's house. Martin says, we're not going no place. We can't get English here, but he speaks German.
Yeah,
He said she wants to go out.
she'd like to go up.
She wants to go out. So it really, well, I think that's quite.
But you might remember, sometimes people, especially, you know, if they've had a stroke or if they've had, whatever happens, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes they remember the past better than now. So if you got her going about the past, she might be able to help.
Oh, yeah,
But
she
she
knows
didn't-
Annie and me all.
Yeah. Oh, but she's Aunt Annie, Uncle Florian, so she wouldn't necessarily know because she's married in.
Yeah, yeah.
she
Gotcha.
knows. I asked her one time a little bit.
She did, we knew a lot more people than she did because she married into that family.
Yeah.
We always went with our grandma to that town.
Okay.
Well, she says she didn't know those people
Okay.
because, well, there is another story there that they didn't really want her too much because she wasn't rich enough.
Who? Kovac?
The Mayas didn't want her that much.
Oh, you're kidding.
And our großmutter went up to this town and talked to, because Grandpa's brother was the head of his dad died, and his oldest brother was the head of the family. She told me that, and Annie told me that. But großmutter went up and made a little trouble.
She had the richest sense of humor.
Mhm.
They want us
Very
to
much.
This is the Grandma Theresa that you're talking about?
Großmutter. Grandma Elizabeth, yeah, Grandma Elizabeth. Well, she says
Oh, Grandma Elizabeth.
she said, and you'll have to forgive us, but, you know, they didn't really. In
No,
those
is Aunt
days-
Annie Hungarian? Or is she German as well?
I heard that was a
Was
Hungarian,
Hungarian, yeah.
but his name was Kovac, yeah.
What?
The German-Hungarian thing they're arguing here, yeah.
Yeah.
Terry says the Hungarians are good
Kovac,
people too,
you know.
and Kenny says no, the Germans are
Well,
better.
actually, I have no experience to say one way or another. My sister married one and divorced him, that's all I know. Patty, she remembered
Luke Carestes?
Laos Karastash?
And then, like, his mom and dad got
See if she'd asked
married.
us, we'd have told.
So Grandma and Grandpa said,
I'll tell
our
you.
other two kids got married, they're okay. So Grandma and Grandpa went together to Großmutter and said that our other kid, my mother didn't love my dad either, but that was the right thing to do. These kids did good, and you get married too, and that worked good. So it really was, in a way, interesting, but he made the best of it. Well, what can you do, I guess? Oh, it's snowing.
It is snowing.
Yeah, we had a
Really
little
snowing?
out at our place just when we left. Yeah.
You heard the joke about the little Jewish kid who converted to Christianism, and you know,
See what?
And
this little Jewish kid who converted to being a Christian, and you know, so he goes home and tells his father, well, you know, I converted to be a Christian today. And my father just gives him hell and reams him out. And so he went and told his mother, and you know, she gives him hell. What's wrong with you doing this and stuff like that? And the kid says, boy, I've only been a Christian for one day and I already hate you Jews.
that's a good one.
That's so bad.
It is.
Well, in those days, like Katie says here, you know, if
Sorry, my prejudice is recorded. on
Immortalized,
tape.
that's wonderful.
Documented. Yeah.
After getting this down, the black man will be
Yeah.
slow and painful.
And she says Uncle Florian really wanted to get away from there, you know, well,
I guess so, if you had that kind of a
we had a
reception.
little trouble. Well, no, she says she married she moved in with the Mayas and they were really good to her.
Oh,
Yeah, she really liked it. No, they were really good to her. Because then there was still, my dad was at home, Paul and Julius, and she married in there. And she says that Grandma asked her to forgive her, you know. I don't know, you know, why this. But Katie says the same thing. They didn't want her dad either. And she says he had one problem. He was poor.
mhm.
And her mother said, well, she's going to marry that Massi Hansi or nobody. So our grandfather said, if That's what she wants. She was spoiled being the only sister. If she wants him, she can have him.
What's a Mashi Hansen?
Massey.
That was his name.
That was his name.
Oh, okay, I
Hans-
thought maybe it was,
Hans Mussey. When I was a kid, they always talked about the Mussey.
Yeah, that's
The Mussey. I didn't know what the Mussey was. I thought the Mussey was the Massey Harris tractor of some sort. But
Okay, this is Mary Ann,
Yeah, Mary.
her husband.
Yeah, her husband.
Okay, so it translates as John Massey.
okay.
Okay, but
Yeah.
they-
Katie
Massey.
has that in this, well,
Mhm.
I mean, you really don't have to write nothing down because Adeline and
She'll
Tony
do
and
it,
I
yeah.
are gonna translate it. And she says it's gonna take us long because she wants everything in the way it is, otherwise it's not interesting.
Yeah.
You know, if you just, like I thought I'd translate the highlights for you.
Yeah.
But you really can't do that, you have to have.
Well, you're doing good, so.
Mhm.
When you talk about Katie now, I'm trying to figure out
It's
who
the
she
Mary
is.
Ann's, that's the Mary
she's a
Ann
Mussey.
Massey,
Oh, okay, so she's the daughter of Mary
the
Ann.
daughter.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Aunt Mariana. Yep.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I was trying to figure out.
Did you
I
meet
need the
Aunt
next
Mary Ann?
generation.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, Katie's the one that wrote all this?
All this. And she is good, you know, they can write letters, but both of them, Grandpa can write pretty good too. But our aunt was the same. I mean, she couldn't spell that
Mhm.
because they all went to school up to grade 4, I guess. You know, so they, and your grandpa, I know, they couldn't really spell too good, but that doesn't mean you're stupid.
Oh,
Like,
not at all.
even Uncle Julius said he was really big and strong from such a, well, here, this is so funny. When Grandpa and his brother came, they came to see the bride,
Mhm.
and she didn't know him. And then on the way home, well, I can just see that road. He says, his brother was Mishko Mike. He says, now Florian, you're not saying nothing, du sagst dir nichts. So he said, det dir kraxen soll ich heiraten. Was was it, dir kraxen?
Mhm.
Skinny scarecrow, you can't even translate it. I should marry that skinny scarecrow.
Oh, this is what Uncle Florian said about Aunt Annie?
No, that's our grandpa.
So grandfather Florian.
Grandfather Florian. Oh, okay.
Grandfather Florian said that. So his
Elizabeth.
brother told him, you have to see all she's getting and everything she knows. Because when him and her went down to see her, her dad said, if you marry her, I write everything over to her. The whole, the house and the land and everything is. So he says, well, then I'm gonna marry her. 17 years
It's like buying a horse.
and yeah, and in 6 weeks there was a big wedding. They could each invite 60 people. So they butchered, I think, 2 pigs, and over there it's like that. When there is a wedding, whoever comes, they all bring a chicken because there gotta be chicken soup and there gotta be chicken paprikash and, fried chicken.
Paprika.
And so, I mean, who has that many chicken over there? So whoever comes, they bring a chicken, and I remember we used to go make noodles for the soup. And no, we had really good times there. We all went when there was a wedding. Kids, everybody went.
Yeah.
Everybody was invited. When you see this fiddle on the roof, that's how it was. Everybody, family is important.
Mhm.
When there was a wedding, we always went along. My mother's cousins and
Was this sort of like an arranged marriage then, Theresa?
with
With Florian and Annie, like they didn't meet each other and fall in love? This was a
No,
bar.
this is the great.
they were
Yeah, the
grandfather.
the generation before.
Florian and Elizabeth.
They were
Florian and Elizabeth.
Florian and Elizabeth.
So that was-
Oh yeah, Auntie Annie and Uncle Florian were in love.
Yeah.
They had them. Only she was a little poor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, but with this
And,
other
and
wife,
she was Hungarian too.
Yeah,
Aunt
the
Annie.
little
half, a little Hungarian.
Two straights.
But I remember that when. Well, they were all arranged, those marriages.
Yeah, it's, Ireland is, where my family comes from, Ireland is the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not, no different, I'm just shaking my head how it's sort of the same.
Well,
everywhere.
this here, our grandma's dad said, Elizabeth, you're almost 17. It's time you get married. And he got the husband picked for her already. He's from the neighbor town, and he's a bricklayer. Town needs a bricklayer. They never had one. And he's gonna come next week and see. So he told her that she should cook, clean the house, and he asked the neighbor already to help her because her mother was dead.
Oh.
She raised her brothers and sisters. One brother. And it's
That looks
really,
good on a resume, experience raising children.
oh yeah, those, well, like I say, my mother, and it was arranged. And one of my mother's cousin married Uncle Paul, you know, and Katie was
Oh.
your mother's cousin.
Oh, yeah,
Did you
yeah.
know that?
Yep, yep.
So 3 of them married the Maya brothers.
Mm.
So, and the and this, and the Massihans, they didn't want them either. I remember Empiemi told me that he said there was somebody named Delina, and she got a little bit of land. Florian should marry her.
But Florian had other ideas. Eh?
Florian.
So this Elizabeth, like,
Mm.
she had a younger brother. Was this just the two in her family? And her mother died, and she took care of her brother. Is that why the father was sort of going to give her all the land and stuff?
She took care of 2 sisters
Two sisters.
and a brother. The little brother, I remember, Grandma was telling us once, this Mike, he was in the States. They all went to the States. And she said he was 2 years old, and she stayed up all night, made him clothes for Easter. So they can, well, everybody was Catholic, like you say, in Ireland. Everybody was Catholic, so church was one of the most important things. So Annie said they went over there once Uncle Julius was still there. So she said, and Anna said, I know what Annie would like to see, Uncle Mike. She says, Uncle Mike died. She says, no, your great Uncle Mike. So they went to see him. I think he was 82. Uncle Mike Secchi, they called him. They went to see him, and he was 85 that time. And Annie said she told him that story that Grandma made him that. She says, he was crying. He says nobody ever told him that.
Oh yeah.
So she raised 2 sisters and a brother, because she was the oldest, 14. It says it all in that. You don't know.
Why did your mother die? What did she die?
Childbirth,
Childbirth.
the first one.
That was the usual.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hard.
Childbirth. Yeah. And she was 14 and she had to take over. I mean, there was no other way.
Yeah.
Interesting little repetition of history here that, you know, Aunt Annie wasn't approved of by the family and stuff like that. Martin was really in love with one of the neighbor girls, Liquor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Martin.
And
Martin.
She was just a
Martin.
little shorty, skinny,
Martin Meyer.
like Großmutter, you know.
Yeah.
But anyhow, she weren't of the proper faith, so they
Yeah.
decided
they were
Martin would be better off to wait for
somebody
else. And
Oh, he really.
he was really lucky he got Lima.
I guess. As long as he felt
Well, I don't know. I think I think that Liquor would have been better for him because he really loved her.
I think he was being sarcastic. He was teasing.
I know. No, she would have been better. But in those days, well, it was the same in your own country. Faith, you had to be Catholic.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah, what did you know
Yeah.
that week?
Well, no, I knew the Licks. I was too young to know her.
Is this like Lake you swim in?
No, like Lick.
Basically.
Yeah, we came out
No, they were, you know,
nice people.
like, I don't know why. It's just, you know,
Well, that's how it was in that age. The
that's
same
that's how
thing.
it was exactly. That's
Yeah,
how it was.
Yeah. With my mom's brothers and sisters, and a couple of them married non-Catholics, and anything that ever went wrong in the family,
That was
after that,
the
for whatever
reason.
reason, is because you married.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, whether it was a stillborn baby, or the business failed, or
Yeah, that's right.
the car got a flat tire, it's all because you married a Protestant.
Well, it sounds like Dr. Laura. Whenever somebody phones in, they got a problem and they're living together. The problem is not the problem. The problem is that you're not married. If you were married, you wouldn't be having this problem. Oh, very interesting.
Yeah.
Don't listen to Dr. Laura, she's an evil.
Oh, God, she's
She's
terrible.
evil,
But
my mom
then-
goes on about her.
Rosewood's sister, one of them went to the States.
In a good way or
And,
bad way?
well, you know that, and Katie and Uncle Mike, they turned 70 Adventists.
Yeah.
And they were upset in the old country. They were going to disown her.
Oh, yeah?
But she was so good. I mean, she helped really your Uncle Florian and Uncle John to come to Canada because her 70 Adventist friend sponsored them.
Yeah, right.
This is a younger sister of this Elizabeth that we're talking about.
Oh,
that's
that's
where
that
you
Aunt
lost it.
Katie there.
Katie, yeah, Katie.
Yeah, they always talk about Uncle Katie. And
Katie.
Katie. No,
But she-
and Katie and, well, her husband too or something.
Otto.
Yeah. And Katie and Uncle Odo. They,
They send old clothes for them.
yeah,
and
they
them.
helped Mom and Dad come to Canada here.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's
So your parents never came through the States like the Hagels did, they
No.
came through North Dakota and
No,
stuff?
but-
They just came straight to Canada?
Well, Uncle Mike and great-grandfather Florian, they went to the States to work.
yeah.
You know, like their grandfather came to work. Uncle Mike was the oldest son. He came to the States to work as well. They worked for a year or two. They went back, took a bunch of money, bought some land. You know, went back and farmed for a while, had a few more kids, came back to the States, made some more money.
Mhm.
Yeah, but you know what Grandpa said? He shouldn't have went because there's this space between Uncle Paul and Uncle Julius. He said if he would have stayed home, he could have had more boys and more grandchildren. They only had 19, and he said that's really not enough. He said if I wouldn't have went to the States, you know that Julius is.
That's it.
Julius is the same
Hard
age
call,
than
hard
your,
call.
than your mother. Julius, that
Oh.
was her uncle.
Okay.
And I think your mother didn't have enough milk for 2 babies because she had 2 twins. So Grandma had it out.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah. You know, I mean, she only had Julius, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
in those days they didn't care, so
No,
she nursed him.
it doesn't matter.
It didn't matter, you know.
Well, one of my patients, Ron Bosch, was saying, you know, told a story about the Alberts. The Alberts were friends of ours for years. They lived out there. Mrs. Albert, of course you know her. And anyhow, you know, Ron was the same age as one of Mrs. Albert's children, and so whenever they needed to babysit, they just
Took them there.
take the
Yeah.
kid. You know, you got a problem?
somebody nurses them,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's right. And
makes
so
no sense.
so anyhow, Ron said he went to visit Mrs. Albert one day, and she was getting her hair cut, and she was just sitting in sort of a
Smart.
just a nightgown or
Smart kind of thing.
a smart
House dress?
petticoat underneath or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And you know, and Ron sort of said, "Oh, do you mind me seeing your petticoat?"
Here, you have some.
She said, "You can see me in a petticoat. I nursed you when you were a baby." And he kind of went.
Yeah, what's the matter with
Totally foreign concept.
Yeah, that's right. So it was. Yeah, it was.
I tell you, when
It was cute.
his parents start talking, you know, that when they came out, how poor we were. Well, we were never poor here. We had enough to eat all the time. So, which is that, I mean, it took them a long time before they went through a lot,
Mhm.
your parents. But we never had that. I mean, the food grew for us. You know, we always had enough food. And Grandpa was a bricklayer. My dad was a bricklayer. They built a new house. And I always thought we were rich. Well, maybe we were because they didn't want those poor people.
So they were rich because they didn't what?
They didn't want the poor people to marry in. So they wanted to hold on to that richness, I guess.
Interesting world.
Yeah, it's a far different world now, eh?
Well,
In so many respects. We're talking about, they were so pragmatic, eh? We need a bricklayer here, so let's get this guy married.
Well, empires were doing the same thing on a larger scale, you know. can even then say we didn't do country over here, we'll just marry so-and-so off to, you know, princess from Holland or the prince from wherever.
Here, this was the house Grandpa built for Grandma. Look at it with the arch. It's like Spanish. That's my dad, and not Paul, and Julius. That's the Masicali.
Okay.
Looks
Do we
like a
get-
doll.
say-
and
say
this-
again? Say
and
again,
that's
say
the
again.
Stenger.
Hang on a second.
That's my dad, and that's Uncle Paul, and that's Uncle Julius. He's as old as your mom. And that's Katie. She wrote this. And this is a cousin of theirs that lived with them, because a grandma's sister went out to the States too, and she married a Hungarian German. That's okay.
Half and half's not bad, eh?
Well, we are Hungarian Germans too. Anyway, they both got sick, and it couldn't work. So they wanted to go back to the old country. Well, my grandma wrote to them and told them, that's my mother's wedding.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. I just, no, so this is, the grandfather.
Then him nobody knows.
You
He
don't know
was
who
a
that guy
neighbor.
is? Oh.
He was a neighbor,
Yeah.
and Katie's dad was in the States.
Oh.
So somebody, every once in a while, somebody took picture, and she says that picture caused so much problem because her dad was in the States, and here
there's
they
another
send
man
in
in the picture.
and here is this other man holding, riding one of the, or even
Yeah.
the cousin, and this was just a neighbor. So
Holy
she
shit.
says he was so jealous,
Yeah.
you know,
These
about
these
it.
people did not
When was this
hear of
picture
the
taken
say
then?
cheese for the camera, did they?
How old?
Not even the
I-
children are smiling.
With
Well,
Uncle Julius being a little boy, you know, he's
So
Yeah,
yeah,
3 years
I didn't
old.
know, but I'd say that looks like my
Okay.
dad.
yeah. So Katie, well, Amy's 70,
You know a little bit?
and
Doesn't look
Katie, I
like
think, is
when he was
75.
young.
So this is about
I
75
don't,
years
I've
old.
never
This is
seen
about
pictures of my dad when he
1925.
was
So
young.
maybe everybody looks the
Yeah,
same.
well, I had
But
these made.
actually,
Yeah.
like children
I-
often do,
and
children
he
often
had
look
them.
like old
Okay,
people.
let me
And-
just
and
take
this-
this in the
that's the
camera.
Stenger.
Yeah, he
That's
does,
the
same
Stenger.
roundish face.
See, he came home, this is another story. Auntie Amy said that was our mother's cousin, and they took him, he went to the States. Then he wanted to go home and marry Auntie Amy's sister. Didn't know her. But in those days, it took so long to get a letter. I think it took with the ship, 3
Oh,
months.
yeah.
And his parents said he's not gonna come. Her parents said he's not gonna come. So they made her marry her cousin.
Oh, shoot.
And then when he got home, he had this dress and everything. Well, then he married a real rich girl. This he was a real one. He went home to get married, but he found somebody.
He was gonna get married, he just had to have somebody show up at the church. on the
That's
right
why
day.
he's a little stern looking. This was second choice.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
he-
that's
yeah.
right, because this one doesn't have any bride and groom in it, I don't think, does it? Just the same
Yeah,
night?
it's the black, They to church they wore black, and then they take.
Even
that's
the bride-
my- yeah,
even the
that's
bride
my
wore
mother
black?
and my dad. Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
Then in the afternoon they changed to.
But the wedding
they-
is, this is the bride.
Yeah, that's yeah.
She looks
But
like an old
They
woman.
marched like the musician in the front, and everybody walked, and
Oh, yeah.
Kenny knows from the Maya house go to the church. Everybody walked,
Is that
and the
right?
musician played, and.
Yeah. So you're saying this is the house that they built?
That's
In
the
the
house
background,
that
eh?
my grandpa, his
Yeah.
uncle,
Yeah.
your great grandpa,
Yeah.
built for his wife.
Then in the afternoon.
Yeah.
They had the boys
So it
already,
was-
and
yeah.
he
Dressed as
said,
bride and groom.
now we sit down and you
I don't
tell
know if
me
it's the
the
same people,
plan
but
you
she
want,
said
what
this
kind of
would
house. So that's the
That's
house.
sort of Spanish style, you're
Yeah.
saying, with the arches, eh? Isn't that something?
Hmm?
Okay, that's cool.
And she had beautiful flowers on there all the time.
Yeah, the house is still standing.
Yeah?
Is it?
It was made out of brick, eh?
Which town? Is it in Germany?
No, it's not hungry.
Or in Hungary?
The foundation, I think, now they build it different. The top is
Okay,
different.
so I want to focus in on this picture.
Oh, yeah, the style, yeah, they still have some. No, but grandma and grandpa,
Hey.
that's not, that's it.
Did you do these ones yet, Ken?
No, I'm just going to try this out here. Need a little more light. There.
I think you need it not directly on it, or it'll fade out if it's
Yeah,
like when
it's
I take
kinda
those.
washed.
Katie, I told Katie about that picture when she sent that, so she asked me if I can get with me because they have now. And she told me the story, what happened when Dad got rid of the pictures because Dad
Here we are. That might be better.
He's in the States, and they sent him, my aunt didn't think nothing of it. Sent
Well, the
him
fact that you would
pictures.
send a picture like that would probably, talk about the innocence of it. You should know, if it wasn't that way, they wouldn't be taking pictures and sending it to him in the States.
Yeah, just trying to get it lined up here.
Did you draw ahead?
There we are. Oh, okay. So this is,
Maybe you should put
Teresa's
behind that,
father?
Teresa Sakin.
okay.
You're doing 3 things.
This is my dad, Joe, Paul,
Yeah.
Julius, 3 brothers.
3 brothers.
They stayed in Hungary.
Yeah.
And this is cousin, and this is their cousins, Stenger, you see.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now, in terms of that wedding picture,
It's there.
okay. So you're saying,
This is, this here is our dad's cousin, and this is the bride, well,
this is your mother?
no, my
Oh.
mother and dad are here.
Whose wedding? Whose wedding is this?
Well, it's my dad's cousin, your grandpa's cousin.
Oh, okay.
But they were rich
That's okay.
people, so they all have something on their head. It's a little more. fancy.
Okay. Can you point out your parents again? I didn't catch
Yes,
it.
right here in the corner.
Does this still exist?
That's your
That's
mother.
my mother and my dad.
There's your dad.
That's where they live.
Okay. Yeah. I'll be darned. Okay.
I
so
says, why, Annie asked her why she has a
It says
black
the little
dress
children
on.
of Hillel
She says
and-
they were engaged already. She
Oh.
couldn't
Oh.
wear white.
Was probably
really,
built with some of these
boy,
US
the customs are
dollars.
pretty strict. Yeah. Okay. So how old would your mother be there?
17.
She
17,
She was the
eh?
same than
Yeah.
your grandma. You know, you're 17, you get married.
Yeah.
You want to be an old maid?
Now's the time, eh?
Now's
Yeah.
the time, whenever.
Okay. So, but the bride looks a little. Well, I guess she's pretty young too, isn't she? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
probably a year or 2 older.
Yeah. Thought she looked a little bit older. And this is another.
Well, this is my mother's wedding.
This is your mother's wedding.
Yeah. But
Okay.
she's in church, they take to church, they put black on. Then in the afternoon, they celebrate 3 days a wedding.
Really? Yeah.
And then they put white on.
Okay. So.
And they cook for a week. Everybody,
Holy smokes.
everybody who's a little bit a relative
Okay.
comes and helps.
So the bride is wearing black.
Yeah,
Okay.
to church.
To the
Then,
church.
then she goes home and,
Yeah. So this is your mother here.
yeah. And they just got a little rosemary on top of the head.
Oh yeah. Okay. And this is your father.
Yeah.
Okay. Are the grandparents in this
Yeah.
picture?
Oh, yeah, I have to take my
You need your
glasses.
glasses? Yeah, I need something here too, because I'm not.
Those are mine, but.
Oh!
I had to take them off to see, sorry, Teresa.
Yeah, probably I can't see. Here's my.
Oh, that's a handy thing. Yeah, very good, Teresa.
Kids got me here. Maybe I can see better with these.
Johnny Couture. Oh, that's on this.
Right behind is my grandma and my grandpa.
Okay, so that's.
And here is
that's
someplace
over.
Großmutter.
Nope, no, you're.
Where are you? Okay, yeah, now I'm at the end. Yeah.
That's Großmutter here.
That's Großmutter. Okay, the Großmutter that I know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like my
See,
grandmother Großmutter?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
See, she looks just as old here as she did when she died.
You're not kidding, yeah. And she's still wearing the
And
scarf.
that here is Auntie Annie, Kovac Auntie Annie.
Oh, yeah,
her mother.
that you talked about, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's her mother.
Okay.
And that's her dad.
Yeah,
He's the Hungarian.
right. Now, Großmutter's, did she have a husband at this time?
I didn't know he was Austrian.
Is Anton Fix still around?
No. He
Oh, wait a minute,
died,
he died.
when
Yeah.
my mother
Sorry,
was
this is your
born.
mother's wedding.
So,
yeah. So
that's-
is the
but-
guy she married? Well, I forgot. What was his name?
Jokas.
Is that what Joe?
Jokas.
Jokas.
Yeah. What was his
I
first name?
can't see.
His first name was Joe.
No, Mishko. Michael.
Michael Jokas.
Michael Jokas, yeah.
Yeah.
Gee, I can't see him on.
He wasn't standing behind her then, eh? That's not him.
I can't believe we just got a kid that's gonna be 20 next year. I remember she used to come out to.
No, I
we
can't
lived in
see him,
Springbank,
Mama.
when we rented
Okay.
that little farm.
Maybe she
And-
was she single then? No, she didn't- she didn't.
Annie has a picture
Should stay as
that,
addiction,
that
she'd come out and go riding.
where there's
I got this picture
Großmutter
I showed
and
you last
Jukka's
time she was on
Großvater
her,
and
so it was boarded in our place, a
my
very
mother
big
and
house.
dad
Yeah.
when they,
Put her
at
on
the
horse, she
wedding,
was born in
Mm-hmm.
and her brother.
56.
Yeah.
So she's 6 years younger than me, and I remember thinking.
So it's
what a
interesting
little
that
kid
they
she
were
was.
black.
Just putting this little kid on a horse. And now you look at
Pretty
them,
serious for.
But
6 years.
Annie and I know all these
When you get
people.
older.
Yeah, these are all sort of the extended family in that town. Eh?
Yeah, we know all
Okay.
this. Cousins and
Yeah.
Großmutter's sisters and, cousins.
Yeah.
20 and Adeline.
Go ahead and point where you want to point here. Who's who? Yeah. Need your glasses, eh? Yeah.
Need my glasses. That's Großmutter's sister. That's skinny one here. This is Aunt Marianne. This is Aunt Marianne with Katie again.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
My dad's sister.
Right. Yeah. And where was Großmutter's sister?
This one here.
That one there. What was her
And-
name? Do you know, Theresa?
Etty.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And the one in between them, is that a relative too? Between
The-
Etty and Großmutter?
Well, that's Auntie Annie's mother. Auntie Annie,
Oh, right,
Florian's.
yeah, okay,
That's her
yeah,
mother.
yeah.
And that's her dad.
Existing families.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Florian. This is Florian's Aunt Annie.
Yeah,
Okay.
Flori. Yeah, that's
okay.
her. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
her name was Kovac. Okay.
Kovac, yeah.
Yeah. So that's her parents.
Her parents, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is Aunt Annie in this picture someplace then? Or
Auntie Annie was in
no,
Canada.
she was in Canada by then. Yeah.
by
now
then they
it's-
were here
Now
for-
I'm
yeah, yeah,
understanding a little better. Yeah.
they
So
were-
this was they married sometime after 1926. When did they marry then?
Well,
Teresa?
my mother was born in
1907?
1912,
1912. Okay.
and she was 17.
Okay. So that's
27,
Yeah,
27.
20,
19
yeah.
so it's
And
1927.
Annie, yeah, 28, because Annie was born in 1930.
okay. So 1928.
Yeah,
That's
about 1928.
when this
that would be
happened, yeah.
1928.
right. Okay. Yeah, that's really neat.
But like I say, all the kids, everybody goes to the wedding. The neighbors are very important.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I see what you mean about the trumpet guy.
That here is Auntie Annie's sister.
Yeah.
See, by then everything was good. We were a
Everybody
close
was
family,
Yeah.
That didn't take long.
Right.
When we went cherry picking, or they always came along. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Cherries. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
amazing
the
what they.
fruit trees there.
Yeah.
The vineyard, in the vineyard.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that's really neat.
Cousin Richard did this thing, like, one of the cruises I went on, they had a picture of him and his wife as sort of one of the exhibition photos.
Oh,
I thought that was kind of neat.
yeah. You must have been shaking your head, kind of like a culture shock. Going, what's going on here? Cruises like in North America?
The
No?
Caribbean. Caribbean.
So they kind of had the farm and the vineyard besides being
Everything-
bricklayers.
Everything was out of town. The town is all like, there was three streets downtown, well, Kenny knows. And all the field was out of town.
Yeah.
So since your grandpa and Uncle Florian and Uncle Mike were gone, that land was divided between the four that stayed. So my dad and Aunt Marianne got half and half. A lot of places we had a little piece of land, but you just went there with the wagon. And Uncle Paul and Uncle Julius, they got the vineyard. But we had a vineyard too. That was from Großmutter, from Vic's Großmutter. So, but my, like our mother, since your mother didn't want nothing, my mother and Uncle Joe got all the land. They did write to them, but what happened, the Großmutter couldn't give it over because by then the war was on, and his mother couldn't sign off. So it was on Großmutter's name, only she did give it to Uncle Joe and to my mother. So they worked it, and they always gave the parents enough that they could live.
It's a good idea.
When they were 55, they sort of gave everything over to the kids. And then after
Pretty
that,
young to give everything away.
Well,
Don't tell your kids, Ken.
yeah,
And then you have to say, and take care of me now.
they
but
didn't
they
didn't think they were gonna live so
they
long.
did, you know. And it was always the one that stayed in the house. Usually one child stayed in the house. He got a little more. He got the house. So, like my parents, they had, you know where our house was. They showed you, did they show you? No? Right beside the Maya house.
Oh, yeah.
And they had an orchard there. So Grandpa gave that to my dad. They cleared it and they built a house on for my mother and dad.
What kind of orchard was this? Was this cherries?
Everything.
Everything.
Just
Plums.
for themselves.
Yeah. No, I'm just wondering what they grew. So there's
Everything.
Everything, just like Kelowna.
Yeah.
really, eh?
Yeah,
Isn't that amazing?
peaches, apricots, cherries,
Yeah, everything. But they had
pears probably as well.
real cherries, sour cherries, walnuts, everything. But
Pears
then
for pear liqueur.
we still had an orchard. Up there was I used to think it was a river. But then when I went back the first time from here, gee, it's a little creek.
Oh,
Well, I don't know. There used to be 7 stones we had to go in, you know, that we walked over. And now all of a sudden there's nothing there. I used to think there's a big river there. We used to go fishing there with the basket. What we did, we held the basket and the other kids would go and poke on each side and we used to catch the little fish like that for the ducks. We had ducks and geese and chickens and you name it, we had it.
You have it, yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
so
That's a good thing
we
for
catched
fun.
the fish. Oh, I remember once, one was holding the basket so they would go in. And once there was I don't know, it was I don't know what we caught, but we left the basket and everything there. A frog. Yeah, a frog went in and you had to hold the basket in fast. You had to pick the basket up so they stay in it. And then we lifted it up and here was this frog.
Scared the heck out of you.
Which we weren't supposed to go there and do that.
good thing it wasn't a dinosaur.
Yeah. Well, it's just a little frog, but it scares you. Right?
Yeah. Dropped your basket and ran, hey?
No, we left the basket.
Left the basket.
We left
Did they make the bricks themselves too? Just wondering how that worked.
They built out of stones, and there was a hill. Like my mother and dad lived 6 years with Grandma and Grandpa, and Dad went every night to that hill with a wagon and brought the stones home.
Oh, okay.
And then, since he was a bricklayer, by then there was 11 bricklayers in town, and each one worked a whole day free they did that for each other. And they hired somebody to bring the mortar or whatever they mixed. And they pulled the walls up, I guess. And the rest, Grandpa and my dad finished.
What happened to your dad?
He died in the war.
He was killed in the war. He was killed in the Germans took over Hungary and they conscripted,
He was in Vienna.
This was the Second World War, right?
Yeah.
World War II? Yeah, I guess it would have to be because you were born back then.
So how did he die, do you know?
Well, I don't know. My mother had a letter from then Massey's brother was
Oh.
He said that he died in his arm. They had, I guess they threw a bomb or something and there was splits, all over.
Was he quite young?
38. And then his mother and dad brought us out. They talked it over with Uncle Mike. And they said, well, us being, they put us out from Hungary. So they brought us out to help us out. They were a close family, those Myers.
Yeah.
I remember we wrote to Uncle Mike that Amy and I want to work and pay the money back because I think it was $1,500 and he paid $800 American, you know. And he wrote that he wants us to have that as a gift, so we have a good start in Canada.
Who was this?
Uncle Mike.
Oh, Uncle Mike. Oh,
And then your dad said, well, if Mike can do it, so can I. He paid $500.
Neat.
So he said, if Mike can do it, so can I. So his dad did it. So we didn't have to pay it back. In those days, that was a lot of money.
Oh.
Annie and I would have had to work a lot of
Many years
years
to earn that
to
money.
pay that back. Yeah, he gave it to us. You know, well, you were only 2 years. Yeah. No?
So April 1945 is when Joseph Meyer died. That's your
Just
father.
towards the end of the war.
Yeah. Right
Yeah,
before,
within-
yeah.
Within 2 months of it ending.
And then I remember we worked in bicycle. I worked for the people that owned the store, the rice gatherers. And he worked for farmers that had a baby for a month. She worked, I think, for some Eagles too.
Oh,
When
yeah.
they had a baby, they needed somebody for 1 month.
Yeah.
And then Theresa came out, your sister came out one day. She says, you poor girls work so hard for next to nothing. I'm gonna get you a job. So she came back to Calgary. She worked in a palace at that time. And she went to the Holy Cross, said, I have 2 cousins, they don't speak English, but they need a job. And the next day we had to stop. Uncle John had to start. Uncle John brought us in. They told her that if we work as good as she does, we don't have to speak. Better you don't speak, you do more work.
So who did you stay with when you came to Calgary?
They had, at that time, they had rooms in the whole...
At the Holy Cross. Oh, like in the
Yeah,
where the nurses.
for 3, well, until we
Seven.
found a place to live,
Oh.
because mother lived with them, you know.
Yeah.
That must have been hard for your parents too, you know. 4 people coming, you know, like Rosemuther and Julius and Tony and mother. They built on their house. They had to build on special
at
to
the
have
farm.
enough room. And they had to sign that for 5 years we don't fall on the government.
Right.
And I think your mother said that they even went out from Calgary to check.
So,
And then 3 weeks we did that, and his mother came. Felix really made us our first supper in Canada.
oh really? Yeah.
They came with the train, and they came to the train station, and Felix stayed home and made supper. And they had an apartment that time
What year was it you came over?
in 49.
In 49.
Okay.
So just before you were born?
Yeah, before I was born.
Yeah. And then his mother came every day. She walked from the Palace Hotel. She walked to the Holy Cross to see how we were doing because we couldn't speak. Never lived in a big city. Couldn't speak any English. Oh gosh. So Annie and I walked 1 block and we looked back if we could still see the Holy Cross so we can find out.
Find your way home.
And we didn't even know how to ask somebody
Yeah.
where we want to go.
Yeah.
Then his mother knew these old Hungarian shoulders, as you probably heard about them. They had a suite.
Oh, you lived with the shoulders?
We lived there.
Shoulders.
That was close to the Holy Cross?
So that, well, it wasn't that, but around the Stampede grounds.
Oh, yeah.
Victoria Park, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's
This is something.
Stampede already.
It's Hungarian.
And then when Kenny was born, Annie and I walked, by then we bought a house, I think on 14th Avenue. We went every day to see him.
Yeah.
So you were 12 when your dad died, and
Yeah.
4 years later you were in Canada, 16. Did you ever get to go back to school when you came to Canada, or you just had to work?
If I could have went 2 years, that would have helped me so much. Well, we had to work because
Yeah.
mother wasn't that well, and Tony was only 12, Julius was 4. So Annie and I worked, and we supported the family.
Yeah.
We gave our mother, that time, we got the check and we could cash it right there at the hospital, and we gave our money to our mother. Well, we had to pay rent and
Mhm.
live.
Yeah.
But instead of $30, what we made in bicycle, we started with 85 at the Holy
Whoa.
Cross.
Triple almost.
85 a month.
Mhm.
Wow, yeah.
I used to think, some of those girls that worked there, they worked in the kitchen, Sandra Trace, they called it. And I never forget, the sister came and they had that bowl with the little sugar cups in. She says, put the sugar on the tray. Well, I said it a few times so I would remember next time.
Mhm.
But you took that little cup and put it on the tray.
Mhm.
But that's
The
when we
beginning of your English.
Oh gosh, I never forget that.
Mhm.
Then in Bicycle, I worked for those Weisgerbers. They had a little girl, I think she was 2.5, but she was so smart. And she had these storybooks. I had to watch her sometimes when they all worked. I watched her. So she showed me the ducks, and she read. She went whatever, she looked at the picture. She
You
said,
say,
Theresa,
yeah.
why don't you speak? You're a dumbbell.
Oh,
Well, but I
nasty.
didn't know what a dumbbell was. Doing something.
Darn good thing, or she might not have been in very
I'm a
good shape when they got
dumbbell,
home.
Now that I, often, and I learn, I thought, yeah.
It's a good thing you didn't go repeat that to the next person you met. Hi, you're a
Why
dumbbell.
don't you speak? I mean, I couldn't speak, well, we got along. I didn't speak, and she just talked. She said, why didn't you speak? You're a dumbbell.
Did she speak, this little girl speak both English and German?
No, they all did. There was just the old couple could speak German.
Oh, they'd already made
The
it.
younger ones,
changed.
the younger couple had a house across the street.
Yeah.
So I helped keeping both houses clean, $30 a month. And look after the little girl.
See, Uncle Joe, your mom's brother,
Yeah,
like he was in the army too.
Just a minute now.
he was in the Hungarian.
This is another
Which
Joe.
Uncle Joe now? I'm getting.
This is
This is
It's
a
not
different-
her dad.
No,
not her dad.
another Joe.
No,
That was our mother's brother.
her uncle.
Oh,
Großmutter's
okay.
son.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
Your
everybody's
grandma's
Joe, yeah.
brother.
My grandma's brother and
Your
and-
mother.
His mother.
My grandma's brother.
and her mother's brother.
So this is Uncle Joe Fix.
Six, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I've now lost the story, so now we got Uncle Joe.
No,
Brady.
Uncle Joe in Hungary, who
They're
was
going to the other side now.
the other side of the family, mom's brother.
Okay.
Uncle Joe Fix.
Like her dad was in the army,
Mhm.
German.
right? German army, and Uncle Joe.
Was in the Hungarian.
Was in the
Uncle Paul was in the Hungarian too.
He was. Oh, he
Yeah.
was in the Hungarian army.
Yeah.
So they had the German and the Hungarian army.
Yeah.
And they were fighting against each other?
No,
No.
No.
They were fighting for the same. But Uncle Paul and Uncle Joe, they were soldiers before where our dad wasn't. He had corn, so they didn't take him in.
Hmm.
So they just took him the last 6 months.
Oh, God.
He was never a soldier, no training, nothing.
Shoot.
So they just took him the last
And
6
we
months.
never saw him again.
Yeah.
So
Uncle Joe was he was in the army as well, and the Russians were, I think they were trying to march these guys back to Russia.
yeah.
Oh, really?
You
Yeah.
know, it's sort of towards the
Yeah.
end of the war.
Yeah.
And Uncle Joe said, at night he would escape and take off and go through the fields and try and work his way back to
To his hometown.
the village and stuff like that. So, and then some days they'd catch him again, put him back in the army, and he says that night he took
Gone
off.
again.
He took off and he was gone again. He said one time he'd been on the road for quite a while, and he found this piece of pig or something like that. So he made a fire and he boiled it up and he was about to eat it, and he said he just threw up, but he couldn't. Thank God he couldn't eat a thing. That's just one of the stories he told about trying to escape from the army
He was trying to survive.
to
Yeah.
get back home.
So was Uncle Julius. See, he was in the German army.
Uncle Julius?
Yeah, Uncle Julius. And his toes froze right off, like that's why he had so much problem with his feet.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, his froze, he was in Siberia, I think.
That would do it.
Really, eh? Yeah.
But you know that we're double cousins. We have the same set of grandparents.
Oh, no wonder I'm getting confused all the
Yeah.
time. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We
Not
have
to
the-
mention everybody's name, Joe, Annie,
Yeah,
That's right.
yes.
Teresa.
Yeah, we're all double cousins, yeah.
Yeah, we're double cousins.
oh.
Our mothers are
Oh,
sisters.
Ken's behind
Yeah,
her,
right,
okay.
yeah, the mothers were sisters and the brothers were brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like,
Yeah.
You knew
that's
that,
my family too.
Almost like sisters and brother.
Yeah, exactly.
But we have
My,
the same.
my
My
grandfather and,
On the Hegel
On
side.
the Hegel side.
it's the same, no.
Yes, Felix Hegel.
Oh, yeah. Where are we double cousins though? No.
On
I
the
guess I
Schmaltz, the
was.
Mary Schmaltz sisters.
Well, you can't because
Two
your
Hegels.
mother is a
Which-
Meyer.
which family?
So,
I was thinking my grandfather,
Felix, yeah,
married
and?
Mariana Schmaltz.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And his brother.
I don't know. I think I'm wrong.
so when we, Terry, when we go to the old country, see, we go
We're
to
related
the
to
Mayas,
everybody.
but we are related to everybody there
Mhm.
because, see, when Elsie's were rich, they have differences, but
Mhm.
we have the same relatives there. So they all want you.
Right, okay. I got it now, Kenny. It was my grandfather Felix
Yeah.
married Mariana Schmaltz.
Yeah.
And his brother Edward married Francis
Oh,
Schmaltz.
so your
So
dad.
my
has-
dad with Father
Double
James and all that
Oh,
family.
they're
double
cousins.
cousins.
They're double
Yeah.
cousins, okay.
Yeah, and as well, my uncle Joe Hagel and Doreen was Perks. And my Aunt Julia, Joe's sister, married Bill Perks. So there's two
They're
brothers,
double
two
cousins.
sisters.
Yeah. Just like
Beatrice Meyer.
Beatrice married, like three of her sisters married three Stin boys.
Twins,
Oh,
I
right,
forgot.
yeah.
So they're triple cousins there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Triple,
Yeah.
not triple cousins, but
They think
Yeah.
there's
There's
three
three
people go around, you don't have to do that. but-
there's three sets of families.
well, I remember you saying this eulogy you gave at one of the,
For Beatrice.
for Beatrice, when you said something about, you know.
It's hard to figure out who to marry
Yeah,
because
you
they're
got
related
it.
to everybody.
Yeah.
If you
That
got
was
a
a really
Meyer,
good call.
yeah.
That's good.
It was good that you married Meyer because
Yeah.
all the rest are relatives.
Well, it was so funny when Lima died. I knew Vivian. You know Vivian, what's her name? She was a small.
Very small, yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, she was a best friend to my neighbor, and I've known her a long time. And I didn't know. I knew she came from
Yeah.
about that. But we talked, and I talked to Henry, my next door neighbor, phone, and I says I gotta go to a funeral. My cousin's wife died. He says I just talked to Vivian, to Carol's best friend, and she said she gotta go to bicycle to a funeral too. So there we meet. We knew each other for so long, and we didn't know that her cousin was married to
It's
my
your cousin. Who was Lima? Who was
Martin.
Lima?
Martin's wife.
No, yeah, I know that.
Lima.
Who was she before she was married? What was her name?
Smalls.
She was a small
She
too?
was a small.
So she's B's cousin.
Yeah, but she was
Oh,
Beatrice's cousin.
And she's also,
Yeah, then Johnny died.
Jean,
Then-
Alois.
Jean
Alois is
Jean's
Jean's, yeah.
cousin, yeah.
Yeah, I knew Jean was a Schmaltz.
Yeah. Yeah, they're, like I said, Ernie's got the whole town together.
Yeah,
With the Hagel and the Smalls,
yeah.
everything else thrown in maybe too.
Well, that almost applies to you too with your dentist stuff. It's applied to me as a lawyer, because people tell me. Plus my grandfather, when he started practicing law, practiced in Rockyford. He didn't move to the city until 1929. But he'd been a teacher in Ontario,
Mm-hmm.
moved to a Rockyford, and somehow, I don't know how that happened, but somehow he managed to article with Patty Nolan, and then was a lawyer in Rockyford, and so all the Hegels always went to my grandpa McGuire. I found out later.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Really?
like,
Yeah.
yeah, my dad's uncles and stuff went.
they all have
went
wills
to him for
drawn by
some
my
reason.
grandfather.
Yeah. I don't know, Weisker and Rockyford aren't all that close.
No, no.
but-
Yeah.
Oh, no, they are
I get
sort
it.
of, yeah.
Well,
It's just, well, how many miles does it drive? 20-mile drive?
If
Not-
that,
not even that.
I suppose it's
If
closer
that.
than going to Calgary, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is, yeah,
In
it
those
is.
days,
it's a
Yeah.
lot closer.
Yeah. It's only about 20 miles, yeah.
Yeah, so there's sort of interconnection there.
Yeah, that's right. Plus, I think the priests used to go to Rockyford as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Rockyford was part of the bicycle
Yeah.
tour, and not Three Hills,
No, not three, but
because that's too far.
a little
Someplace else.
black.
A starts with the name Rockyford, Acme.
Yeah, that's close by.
No, it was, where did they used to go? Black Falls? Black
That's
Falls?
too close to Red Deer.
That's right outside Red Deer.
Oh, okay. Well, there's some sort of place where the bicycle priest used to have to go to. It was towards Carbon.
Oh, is it?
Like you can see the name off the, and I forget it right now.
It'll come back. In a minute, it'll drop into the conversation.
Yeah.
It's funny though, the stuff you don't know that can help you later on, like, when my hearing started to get really bad, and I don't know why, and I talked to all my relatives, nobody knew, and then I was at a funeral for a jockey named Jimmy Fitzsimmons who died here in April, and he was, my dad put him on his first horse, and long history with Fitzsimmons, and I'm there, and a guy named Pat Toole comes up and talks to me. He used to be Toole and Cody Real Estate. My dad sold real estate with Pat. And he comes up and he talked about the early years in the 50s, because my grandpa McGuire shared office space with Clara Cody's father, so the realtor and the lawyer. And he said, yeah, I used to go down there and visit, and I'd come home to my wife and she'd say, why are you yelling, Pat? He said, because those two deaf old men, neither of them will wear a hearing aid or anything, and they're there and they yell at each other in the office all the time, which is the only hint I ever had. And, my grandfather was pretty near deaf, and he died at 65 or 66, so he was pretty near deaf.
Well, us
And then
liars, we all talk loud, And
Yes, tell it. Who told that story? Did you tell that story? Tell the story
Grandpa and
about
his brothers in the bar.
Tell that on the tape, because I don't know if Theresa knows this. This is so funny.
Well, one time, Uncle Mike was here, and maybe Uncle Paul was here too.
Yeah,
They
Uncle brought him out.
Uncle
yeah.
Paul.
All the brothers went
So Uncle Paul was here,
together
Uncle
brought
Mike,
their brother
and
out
Uncle
to
Florian
visit.
and Dad, and they all decided to go to go to the bar and have a drink. So see, Uncle Mike was Seventh-day Adventist, so he didn't drink except when he was with
His brothers.
his brothers. So when
He
he
said, "Let's go to the bar."
yeah, so when we went to the, so anyhow, they were in there and they're having a hell of a good time in there. And I guess the bartender came over and said, "Listen, you guys better settle down. We don't want any of this fighting going on here." And probably Uncle Florian says, "We're not fighting. We're just having a conversation."
We're just talking.
Yeah, we're just talking.
I can remember
was
your
telling
dad being
Kevin-
talking very, very loud. I don't remember Uncle Florian talking loud.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
all
him
of we all talk loud. Yeah, we all talk loud. But I was telling Kenny that both my grandfather's grandfather, Yoke, as well, we didn't know no other grandfather. Mine, grandmother got married just before mine.
Yeah.
Well, there is another story. He was a distant cousin, and he was in the States, and he came home with money. So he...
It sounds like the whole place lights up.
Oh, yeah.
We got a live one here.
No, but his wife died in the States. She was from Moyopo, too, from that town. And he always came and visited, and then he said, well, we should get married. So he had
What a
the
sweet
money.
talker.
And Mother said right away, he held a nice wedding for her, and he bought land. A lot of people did that. They went out to the States
Got
and
money.
make money, and then they went back and bought land there. So we didn't know no other grandfather, we didn't know that he was a
This is
step-
Grossmuth's husband.
Grossmuth, the second husband.
Yeah. She was a fix first,
Yeah.
right?
And then both grandfathers were quite deaf, and they used to help my dad worked in a glass factory building. He made pretty good money there. So the two grandfathers cut the wood for the winter for my mother. And boy, they yelled at I think you heard them from one end of the town in the next, they just talked so loud. They yelled. So everybody knew in
See, I
town
keep
that-
telling you, you're getting deaf too. You think it's just me, but I know.
Yeah, so when they came here, when did you leave Hungary? In 45?
49, she said.
No, 45.
45.
49 they came to Canada. They left Hungary in 45.
And it took you 4 years
Took
to get
4
to
years.
Canada?
Yeah, we stayed 4 years in Germany. It was nice, we got along good. We could speak German. We
Yeah.
got there, didn't take us long. I went to school then in Germany for 4 years.
Uh-huh.
Who did you stay with? Or did you stay with somebody or?
2 years we were in camp, in a big dance hall, 17 families in one room.
Oh my goodness.
Refugee camp.
Yeah. But
So
then
this is you and your
Your
mother.
mom.
and Großmutter and
Großmutter.
my grandparents and these Musties
And her brother.
and a lot
and
of
sisters.
strange. We were all from the same town.
Okay. How many other were?
17 families, I don't even know.
17 families, not 17
Seven-
people, 17 families.
17 families.
So you all stayed in the States?
One back from that.
That's the story you heard about the train going back.
Yeah, but
Yeah, back
and
and
I think,
forth.
I don't know, I missed pieces of that, so.
But, okay, I'm a little lost here. So, how come you left Hungary?
Well, we
Because
thought we leave, and then when the Russians go out, we go back again.
Oh, okay, because of
But
the
then
Russians.
we weren't allowed to go back.
home, yeah.
When the German soldiers were retreating
Yeah.
from the Russians attacking them, you know, when they got to this German town, they said, "You better leave because the Russians are coming,"
Mhm.
and they're not happy.
Mhm.
And so, you know, a lot of these German families just,
We just packed up and we got really Katie, she knew German soldiers and everything, and she got a train, and they said whoever wants to go can go. But that's the way we left. We gonna go, and when the war is over, we go back.
Mhm.
Except
But
Russia owned
everything
Hungary by
happened,
then.
everything
well,
happened.
see, the Russians kept,
Yeah,
Russians.
Russians.
And then they started putting people with a German name, and like our dad was a German soldier, because Annie said once, maybe we should have stayed home. Well, Paul says, we were better off that way, because they would have put you out then, and then we would have been in East Germany.
Right.
Where this way
Oh,
we got
this was
to
in
the
West Germany.
American zone,
Okay.
you know, we were, so nobody hurt us.
Yeah.
Well, in Hungary, they really hurt people, you know, they, it was terrible, they took everything away, they put them out of their houses, and we didn't have to go through all that.
That must have been really awful for people when you think of
Well, and
how
then
hard it was to get
our
land.
mother got kind of depressed, you know, losing her husband and losing everything else they owned.
Yeah.
And then
This isn't-
Annie was 14, I was 11, we sort of had to take over.
Yeah.
What was her name?
Yeah, mother was really,
She wasn't-
you know,
she
got
wasn't
into
well
large-
most of her life, was she?
large- She was never really a well woman. No.
Mhm.
That's what she says, when she was 17, she had had problem already. And Großmutter here, she was 90, never had nothing.
Mhm.
92.
Including new teeth.
Yeah. And see, when they left, this, you know, Joka stayed.
But, well, this is another
Oh,
story.
Großmutter's husband didn't come.
No, he stayed, yeah. Well, tell the story.
What's the story?
The story is, Groß, like, Kenny's mom was here in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
My mother wanted to go because the Myers went, you know, that she was, I think, close to that. And Großmutter lived with her daughter-in-law and the two girls. So they didn't know whether Uncle Joey's gonna come back. So she says, if he dies in the war, she hasn't got any of her children. Her one daughter is in Canada and we're gonna be in Germany. So she came along with us. And Yuka's Großvater said, you know, he was in the States and he was a foreman on a railroad. And he could speak 7 languages. So he says, they're not gonna hurt him. He's gonna stay. So he stayed with the daughter-in-law and Großmutter came with us.
Well, plus he was Hungarian, was he?
Yeah,
No?
yeah, he was a schwab like us.
He was German. Oh, I thought he was Hungarian.
Oh,
So
I'm
Jokas...
just looking for an excuse.
No, Jokas is a German name?
Yukas, yeah.
Hmm?
It is? Oh.
Gee, that's an unusual
Yeah, I
name
thought it
for
was
German.
Hungarian.
Sounds Hungarian to me.
I thought-
Not knowing you better.
Hungarian, well, Todt, Großmutter, that's a Hungarian.
Yeah.
So there's a little mixture.
Yeah, I was thinking he stayed because he was Hungarian.
No.
And did he? And was he right? Was it a good thing to do? Was he okay? They
Oh,
didn't
it
hurt
was
him.
okay, I mean, they didn't.
Except he became, you know, the country got taken over by the Russians, so then he was trapped there.
Yeah, well, they looked after him.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, it wasn't a big deal.
When did he die?
Oh, I don't know what he
Well, he must have lived for a while, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he lived for a while, but he was a bit older than that.
Mm-hmm.
Gee, I can't remember.
But it was interesting that she took off, you know,
Yeah.
just left her husband. But it sounded like a marriage of convenience, though, anyway.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
I'd say so too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he was the guy that came back from the States and he had some money and said,
Yeah.
let's get married.
Yeah, that's good man.
And he bought land.
He
Good
went,
choice.
he went there a lot, you know, to their place, because he was sort of different.
But I heard he was a cousin of Großmutter's.
Yeah, he was a relative.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, often, you know, well, even nowadays, you know, you hear people dying and then the brothers-in-law, sister-in-laws sometimes get married.
Well, our mother was happy because then she could have well, she said she had to work so hard too. And Großmutter was strong, like her husband died when my mother was, I think, 6 years old,
Yeah.
in the States.
Yeah.
And they had a hard time. Like your mother was saying, she was 7 years old and she had to look after my mother and Uncle Joe.
So that's your lost childhood.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Oh, 7,
yeah. 7, yeah. 7, she used to take my mother, she says, over to their grandma. And she says, they always said, here comes the cat with the mouse. Because she had to carry.
Because the way she'd have to carry them, it would look like that. Yeah.
So for grandma, your mom, she grew up pretty poor then, because she was orphaned and
Yep.
stuff.
They were not really that poor because Großmutter worked lots and they had 2 cows and my mother said they never had to drink skim milk and they ate good. So
Yeah.
So it
that's
wasn't
not, you
bad.
can't call
So they weren't
that
selling
poor.
cream, so they were able to survive without selling the cream.
Großmutter could work like a man. She could go out and cut crop and everything. She could work like a man. It's just in comparison what other people
What the Myers
did.
had.
They were pretty well off. Well, the Myers.
I was just saying, Myers were a little more well off. That's what you're saying. Eh? But
Yes, no, I don't know.
Yeah.
Were they?
Well, yeah, they had no, yeah.
Sounds, well,
And they had, I mean, when there is a husband there, you know, Grandpa made money, yeah.
well, he was over, you know, that's what Jokas was doing, not Jokas, but Fix.
Fix
And that's what he was doing, he was in the States, you know, over making money.
money and he was gonna go home again.
yeah.
Großmutter's sister, one they lived next door to that. They went over to the States with her husband and both her kids were born there. She was always sick in the States and the doctor told her to go home. They went back home and she was fine. She was always sick, she was homesick.
Literally.
And who was that?
Your mother's aunt and my mother's aunt.
What's her name?
Elizabeth, her name was Elizabeth.
Elizabeth what? Fix?
No, Pizza. You probably saw her daughter. Pizza Lizzie, no?
Finally stumped him.
What?
Said, finally stumped you, one you don't know.
Well, you know, I've heard the name, but I don't know who they are.
So
Großmutter's sister.
you spent 2 years then in the refugee camp in Germany?
It was not a refugee camp. We could go, it was just a camp.
Okay.
We could go as we pleased. We went to school and the German people were nice to us. We weren't treated bad.
And
We
then-
were Germans.
Yeah, that helps, yeah.
No.
After the 2 years, then what happened? That
Then
where did you
the
go?
government went around and whoever had more rooms than they needed, they had to give one away. They had to give one to the people that were in camp.
Oh, okay.
So we had one, then we got one room. And I've worked for this dentist wife, half day I went to school, half day I worked for her. So I had a beautiful room there.
Oh, really?
But she did that, so she doesn't have to give it up. You know,
Oh, yeah.
she would have had to probably take a family in or
Yeah.
something. But she was smart, she took me. And, you know, in return I worked and my mother could keep my ticket, like we got food tickets for flour and, you know, sugar and all that. Well, you had to pay for that, but it was rationed.
Yeah.
So her husband was the dentist. That's what you have to do. People brought roasts and, you know, when you need food, you don't need money. You know, food was better. So he asked the farmers to bring food, you know. So we ate good and my mother could keep my ticket.
That's neat.
So they kind of split you up a little bit because you went one place and did Annie go somewhere else too?
And he worked for a farm.
Yeah.
And he worked for a farmer. They got up at 4 in the morning, worked till 8 at night.
Ooh. Yeah.
She said, smiling.
You had a better deal.
Well, I was still only
You were younger
I
too.
wasn't even 12. I couldn't go out and cut trees like Amy.
How old is Annie?
14.
14. Yeah, 3.
She says she went to the doctor and she's got all these scratches on. He says, you must have had a cat or something. She said, no, that's from cutting trees down with the farmer.
Oh yeah. It's hard. Yeah.
And you got Sunday afternoon off.
And that was it.
That was it. Then Sunday morning you could go to
Go to
church.
church.
They were all Catholics there too.
Yeah,
So that was important. You had to go to church.
absolutely.
And then you had to go home and do chores. And in the afternoon you were free.
And 2 years you did that before
I
you
did
came.
that. Yeah,
Or she did that, sorry, yeah.
So
And you were with the Dennis. And then 2 years after that, then you came to
then we
Canada?
came to
So you said Uncle Mike was able to pay for your way. Was he in Germany too?
No, he was in the U.S.
It was in the
Yes.
Oh.
He paid for our fare.
Yeah, he was
So
in the
he
States.
helped on Uncle John.
Oh, this is the guy that's
And
the baker in the States?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, in New Jersey or someplace?
Philadelphia.
Is that Elizabeth's father?
No,
that's
Uncle.
Julius.
Julius worked with him. When
Yeah.
Julius came to Canada, he worked with Uncle Mike.
Oh, okay.
And
So
Julius
Uncle Mike was the first one. Uncle Mike and
was the oldest and Julius is the youngest.
see, Uncle Mike and the grandfather, father, they came to the States together. I think to work. Uncle Mike
Right.
was 16 or something.
Mhm.
Yeah,
This
okay.
is
I understood,
Richard's
yeah.
dad.
Okay, so Uncle Mike kind of just stayed in the States and he never went back.
He did, yeah.
No, no, well, they went back, you know, young Richard, he always sent the kids to the grandparents. As soon as the war was over, he sent them over. He wanted his kids to know the grandparents.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
When you went and visited Liz, though, weren't both your parents still alive then? Or is
Yes.
that Uncle Julius still alive?
Yeah, well,
He
he
just
just
passed.
died.
He just died.
Oh,
Before Easter.
oh,
Just last year, yeah.
Oh,
But he was the
This year?
youngest of the family.
just this year?
Yeah,
Uncle Mike was
just
the
now.
youngest.
Oh, no, I didn't know
Easter,
that.
yeah, like
See, Uncle
a
Mike
month or
was
so ago he died.
Uncle Mike was the oldest, and he
And he
when-
turned 70 Adventist too.
Julius?
Uncle Mike.
No, no, Uncle Mike did.
Uncle
Yeah.
Mike wanted him to turn.
Yeah.
But he said, no, I'm not turning if I want. Oh, gee, I sit here. You guys want some beer or something?
Glory be to God!
I guess I'm 70 Adventist. Henny, will you have a drink?
I'll have some beer since you're up.
Gee. I don't drink, so I don't.
Forgot our hospitality.
How stupid.
The stories are more important than the beer. Well, maybe not
How
ten.
stupid can you get? I let you sit here and don't offer you a drink.
Maybe you should
No,
know.
we,
Your
uh,
glasses are in a tall place, huh?
I
Gosh.
was feeling quite insulted.
Will you have a drink? Drink.
I'll have a beer. Okay.
Yeah, you have.
I'm happy with beer.
And Kenny,
No, no thanks.
What do you want?
what?
Give juice.
Rye.
Unless you got a 7-Up or something.
Seven
Seven
Up.
Up.
Right,
Coke.
or you
I
rum?
got
I
rye.
don't drink.
You want
Do
to
you want
mix?
No,
pear
I
lic-
think I'll just have
no
some
pear
juice.
liqueur?
Huh?
Pear liqueur?
I have
Don't take it.
apricot.
Pear liqueur, love.
Will you have apricot?
I'll have some of that, yeah.
Oh, gee, I should have put it out here. That's why I put that out, so I put it out. I don't forget. And we talk and we talk.
It's been very good to talk and talk. Can
Oh,
I read
good.
something for you? Okay, you got it under
There's some
control.
problem around, Ken, I'll have some, or maybe just water.
What a good host.
And a glass from Hungary as well.
Yep. I brought these last time. What did you Harry say? I got ginger ale and I got Sprite and I got a Coke.
Probably the ginger ale. Would be handy for you.
I should shot.
That Uncle Mike's drank and ate meat when he came back to
Yeah.
Canada here to visit us.
Yeah. But I
Because
like
the
to say-
Seventh Day are vegetarian.
A lot of them are, although
Yeah.
No,
not all.
Not all, maybe not all, but they tend to be vegetarian and they don't drink and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
but I guess when Uncle Mike got to Canada, he couldn't wait to
I'm drinking. Let's eat some real food.
tie into a steak, get back to his roots.
It's, our trainer.
See, but I think his wife was in his 7th day as well, so she didn't approve
She
of
was
it.
a little
Kenny,
more
will you have a
Didn't
piece of
approve of him.
cheesecake?
Sure, yeah, please. And I didn't realize that. I didn't realize he did that, but Mom said that That's what he used to do. Of course, you get back to your roots, and
Sure.
everybody else is having a drink, and
Yeah, you wanna fit in and
Yeah.
celebrate and stuff.
Yeah. and probably in being the oldest brother, I mean, he did a lot. Like he brought Dad and Florian out to Canada because of his Seventh-day Adventist connection. Okay, there was a guy from Ice Cream down his Seventh-day Adventist. He was down in New York, going to some sort of Seventh-day Adventist college. And Uncle Mike was going there too.
Yeah, I don't know, I didn't know.
And Uncle
They
Mike
were staying
became
home.
friends with him, and he said, "Listen, can you do me a favor? Sponsor my brother to come to Canada." And the guy said, "Sure."
Yeah. Isn't that something?
Because like
Because of those church connections.
yeah, that's right. So the Seventh-day Adventists got us here.
Did a hell of a good thing.
Yeah.
That's how Alfonso, our trainer, got from Guatemala. Seventh-day Adventist people got his son out, so he kept swimming the Rio Grande, and they kept sending him back to Guatemala. Finally, the Seventh-day Adventist got him to Canada, and then Alfonso and all the rest of them.
Yeah. Good. Thanks.
So,
Yes.
do you want some ginger ale?
No, we're gonna stay.
Yeah. So like
And
I think yeah, please, yeah. See, I think the
what's some of this?
no. That's good. See like Uncle Mike and grandfather Florian, and grandfather Fix, all those guys came to the States to work, eh? And that was the Europeans. I mean, the Italians did that too. The Italians would come to the States to work, and they'd go back, and it was just a means
Well,
of.
it's like Edith is doing Matthew's girlfriend with the Philippines. Now Edith and Matthew are going to sponsor her sister to come out from the Philippines.
Right.
She's got 2 little kids that'll stay with the grandmother. This our son Matthew's girlfriend. And the kids are like, I think she has 3, 8 and 7 and 4, and they'll stay with the grandmother in the Philippines until the sister gets established, and then eventually they're going to try to bring her kids and the mother out. But it's harder to get people in now because the grandmother doesn't have any skills. I think she's got some health problems too. So they got to have a really solid base here before they can bring her. So, yeah.
But anyway, before I go, I should read maybe one page to you.
Please do.
The U.S. immigration policy changed, and then they sort of cut these. They sort of closed the borders to more immigration.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Uncle Mike tried to bring Dad to the U.S. and couldn't, and so he circumvented it by getting his Seventh-day Adventist friend to sponsor him.
That was Gareth, was it? That they went
No,
to?
it was. I think his name was Tates.
Oh,
Tates.
Auto Tates.
Something like that. Or something. I forget. But there's a Tates farm along the highway, number 9 highway. If you drive through Grum Highway, there's a Tates farm there. But that's the person.
Yeah.
Maybe the grandfather or something.
Where your dad and Uncle Florian were the first one too. Yeah.
I think so.
They came together, right? Or,
No.
Uncle, your
No,
dad came first.
Dad
for a
came
year?
first, and Mom and Theresa and Mary came the next year, and Florian came that next year as well.
Oh, he came with your mom.
Yeah. So Florian, maybe Dad asked somebody else to sponsor Florian or something. I don't know. I don't know how that worked.
I don't know. Annie said that you brought your mother just before she died to her place, and your mother was saying about our grandfather,
Yeah.
Florian.
Yeah.
He said that he came home once and he told our grandma that our Hansi, that's our John, married a good woman. She's a real good cook. She made soup and strudel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they were pleased with her. Our Hansi, Hans, that's
Yeah.
John.
John.
Hansi.
So read us the page. You wanted to read that page.
Oh yeah, well, I read you one, just read it.
Yeah,
Well,
please do.
I read it in German and then I translate it. Elizabeth, that was her name, du bist bald 17 Jahre alt, you're almost 17 years old. Es ist Zeit, dass du heiratest. It's time you get married. You're almost 17, it's time you get married. sagte unser Urgroßvater. That's what our great-grandfather said. Johann Secker, that's John Secker, zu seiner Tochter. He told that to his daughter. Und wusste auch schon, wen Elizabeth heiraten soll. And he knew already who Elizabeth should marry. Drüben in Nachbarsgemeinde, in the next town, Modorpolan, that's the name of it, ist ein junger Bursche. There is a young man. Heißt Florian Meyer. Ist Maurer. His name is Florian Meyer, and he's a bricklayer. Und unser Dorf braucht einen Maurer. Our town needs a bricklayer. Ich habe ihm gesagt, soll kommen am Sonntag. He told him he should come on Sunday. Damit ihr euch kennenlernt, so you get to know each other.
Just for one day.
And then he tells her, bereite alles vor, Elizabeth, get everything ready, mach alles sauber, clean everything, koch ein gutes Mittagessen, cook a good dinner, and die Nachbarin wird dir dabei helfen. The neighbor lady is going to help. He talked to her about it already. Den Hof und Stall kümmere ich mich. The outside, he's going to have everything clean and he says here that we can let them see us, you know. Everything's supposed to be spick and span. Elizabeth hat in der Nacht nicht mehr geschlafen. She didn't sleep that night, you know. Sie war aufgeregt. She was upset. Heiraten, you know, getting married, she says. And einen Mann, den sie noch nie gesehen hat. To a man that she never saw before. Und den sie gar nicht kennt. Sie hatte Angst. Help me translate.
She had anxiety.
Angst is angst. Existential anguish.
Direct translation.
That's why Erland said it's going to take the three of us to translate all that.
Well, you don't have to translate that word.
Actually, yeah, that word
But you
that
have
word
to know
made it
that you
into.
don't have to translate it.
She was scared.
Yeah, that she was.
Yeah, she had fear.
Mutter hatte sie keine mehr. She didn't have no more mother. She was, you know.
So you thought that was a modern day problem?
Yeah.
Obviously not.
Sie war im Wochenbett beim 5. Kind mit dem Kind verstorben. So she was
Died with the 5th child.
pregnant, yeah, with the 5th child. Zurück blieb ein verzweifelter Ehemann mit 4 Kindern. Translator. Ein verzweifelter Ehemann. A real, you know, verzweifelter Ehemann. He was an upset husband.
Oh.
With 4 kids.
Oh.
Elizabeth war 14 Jahre alt. Sie war die älteste. So Grandma Elizabeth was 14 when her mother died, and there was 4 kids. Ab sofort war Elizabeth die Hausfrau und Mutter und Ersatz für ihre Schwester Theresa, Schwester Katharina. She and one brother Mishko.
So therefore she was the housewife.
The housewife
And the mother.
And she had to look after
And the mother to
4
the other
kids.
4
Yeah,
children.
3 kids. Yeah, the other 3 kids.
And responsible for it.
Yeah,
Yes.
responsible. The whole
I
house.
understand that. Anything happens.
The household for food, you know. In erster Zeit kamen die Nachbarinnen abwechselnd und halfen. at the beginning, the neighbor ladies came and helped. Von einer hat sie kochen gelernt, from one of them she learned how to cook, from the other one she learned how to bake bread. There was no bakery that time. How to bake bread and cook. And from the next one she had waschen and bügeln. She learned how to wash and iron. And from the dritten, from the next one, how to clean windows. And weißering. That's whitewashing.
Whitewashing and painting.
Yeah, painting. Only so now Im Herbst kam eine Tante aus Ugart. One of her aunts came in the fall to show her everything, how to get everything ready for the winter. Because, you know, there was that time, there was no cans or nothing.
Yeah, so
that
you
you
preserves
they
and
had
all
to
that.
preserve everything. And here it says, es wurde vom Obstmarmelade gekocht. They
Jams.
jams, they cooked jam from the fruit. And they made sauerkraut, gurken, pickles. She showed her everything how, and the beans, you know, like the yellow beans, they dried. And when you cook
Oh,
them, in those days there was no freezers, and that's the only way you keep them. It got really warm there. So they put them on the patio, or they put them they had a stone oven where they baked the bread. So when they took the bread out, it was still hot. If it didn't dry enough, I remember even my mother doing that. If it didn't dry enough in the sun, they put it in there. Let
They
it
didn't
dry.
cook them like, my mother cooked
Fruit
them and
and
put them in jars, beans.
Well, in those days, that's 100 years, they didn't even have jars then. I mean,
Good point.
later on they had. Hey, that's
Okay.
because, you know.
Yeah, it's a different generation, yeah.
Different, yeah.
But even my grandmother
But
did that.
they put everything away, you know, they knew how.
Mm-hmm.
Zwiebel und Knoblauch, you know, the onions and garlic, they braided and they hung it up. And that's how people had it all. And I remember the carrots, they put in between the sand. They had a cool room, you know, where all that stuff was kept. And they put sand, the raw carrots, and piece of carrots.
That way that so the carrots didn't go rotten,
No,
because it kept the moisture from them,
yeah.
Yeah, like a root cellar.
Yeah, root cellar, but they had a room. That's,
Yeah, that's why we had cold rooms. And you could get a house in the city.
Yep.
We were pretty keen on it.
Even our house in the country, is that was
And
a
here-
layer of dirt?
Mohn wurde aufgeschnitten, that's the poppy seed.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they cut that and dried it and
What's the German
That's a-
word for poppy seed?
Mohn.
Mohn. M-O-H-N.
Verfülling für den Apfelstrudel and Parachinkel. That's the paint, grape Suzette.
Yep.
Grapes and sets, Parachinko.
Yeah, Parachinkel. Oh, you know that? You heard that?
It rings, yeah, for some
Maybe
reason
it's a
that.
bell.
It goes, yeah. Mum made Parachinko. Goes with Parachinko.
I guess they're here, somebody. I better put the potatoes on.
They're a little thicker than crepe.
Hello?
Yeah, is that sort
Hello.
of butterfly things?
I made one.
No, those are wonderful though.
No, those are Kropfland.
I didn't eat roll
With icing
Maar ik
sugar.
kwam nog
I
cocaine.
never had those till I met your family.
Ja.
Sorry, yeah, they were.
Your mother made them.
Had dat toch niet mooi daar
But she's
mee
still
elkaar hier. Veel uit.
She knew how to make them.
Nee, Shelly.
She taught me how to grind poppy seed and stuff.
I
I should have learned green seed from your
Yep.
Vochoraz.
And I was going to, and she really wanted to teach me.
Elgi von mij.
Just never came together. A lot of that stuff's lost
Oké,
arts.
maar dan Tony neemt zo
Completely
paar
lost arts.
Actually, yeah, it's not. It's cooking
Tony
lessons.
said he's gonna pick him up at 5:30. Now it's not, 4:30. But he's ready to come.
Good.
Teresa, do you
Grandpa.
know how to make the same kind of noodle soup like Grandma Meyer made, like Teresa?
When?
Do you know, like Grandma Teresa made? Do you know how to make the noodle soup like she made with the
Oh, yeah,
parsnips?
yeah, sure they make
You
that.
better teach me, because nobody else knows it anymore, right?
Well, Beatrice.
I mean, your
make it,
children
yeah.
knows it.
No, our
Beatrice is
children
gone.
don't make it.
Yeah.
Glenn doesn't like soup too much.
Beatrice died last year, she found.
Oh,
You
yeah,
still
we
have
make
that
the
sauce.
soup.
Chicken soup legacy with her.
It was wonderful, it had paprika in it too. I learned some Hungarian cooking from, well, Patty was briefly married to Lou. Chicken paprika and stuff. Remind me sometime, we'll do that again. She liked it. Probably was familiar with American.
The
This
only
must be
thing
some-
I can remember buying is sugar, yeast, the flour, we had the grain. We took it to the mill with the wagon, and you brought your flour and your cream of wheat and all that home in a few weeks.
Mhm.
They had all that out there.
I was thinking about, I noticed grandfather Florian, he died in 1956. Okay, that's what he wrote down here.
Yeah, yeah.
So, how did he do during the war? Did he stay in Hungary then? What happened with him?
No, he he was with us in the camp.
He
They
was.
were with us, oh yeah. And then we came to Canada, and the masses, well, you know, they bought a place there, and they stayed with them. See, that they only had the one daughter, Mary Ann,
Right on, yeah.
yeah. And they stayed with her
So
till they died
In Germany.
in Germany.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they went there.
So did Aunt Mariana leave in 1945 as well?
Yeah, we all went
We
together.
all went together.
All went together.
And Mariana? And why did Paul stay?
Paul was a soldier. He wasn't home. And his wife, that's Aunt Katie, that
Yeah.
was our mother's
Yeah.
cousin. She wanted to come, but her parents wouldn't let her.
So they stayed.
So they lived in the next, they lived in the next town in Japas, you know, her
Yeah.
parents. That was Großmutter's
Yeah, yeah,
brother.
yeah.
And they wouldn't let her come.
Even though she was married?
So she was married and
Well, see,
he was-
her husband was off in the army.
her husband was off and her parents, she was, well,
They wanted
they
her to
only
wait and
had
see if
one
he came
daughter
back.
and
Oh,
one
I
son.
see.
But he was in the Hungarian army. He wasn't in the German army.
Yeah.
And well, how did Uncle Joe get in the German army?
He was in the Hungarian army.
He was in the Hungarian army too.
Yeah. No, they
Okay,
was,
but they were conscripted by the
but these
Germans.
were soldiers before, like Uncle Paul, they take you in like they do in the States when
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
17 and
They call it
get
conscription.
training unless
They make you go.
Yes. Well, my dad didn't have to go because he had bad feet. He had
Right.
horns and
No,
stuff.
but the Germans,
They took everybody then already.
but the Germans, they took over the Hungarian army, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was almost, but still, after the war then, if you were a Hungarian soldier, they pushed the Germans more. So the people that were in the German army, they started from the town, they started shipping them out to West Germany with German names and I mean, so, but Uncle Paul had the German, but they call it not Meyer, like we say, Moyer,
Mhm.
you know, they sort of
Hungarian,
Moyer, yeah.
Hungarian accent.
So the German soldiers advised the German-speaking people to get out.
Yes, yeah, that's what they said to us. Just leave, because what the Russians do, and you know, the masses left, and my grandparents and my mother said, well, she wants to go with them. It was more volunteer, you know, but then if we wouldn't have went, we would have been in West Germany, and there it was really bad. The people
East Germany.
that-
East Germany.
East Germany, yeah, in
Yeah.
East Germany. Some people that were there, they said it was terrible. You know, they didn't have enough to eat, and where we stayed in that camp, and the big farmers that time, they didn't have all that machinery. So they would come in and ask if somebody wants to come and hoe potatoes or, you know, and people went, Großmutter went, Annie went, and, you know, and they gave us food.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when you're hungry, you don't need no money, you need food, you know, so people worked they all went work for food. They gave you potatoes, they gave you, for 3 months, I watched for farmers. They had 17 cows, but they didn't have no fence around. So I had to watch that they don't go to the neighbor. Every day they gave my mug, they gave us a quart of milk. At the end they gave us a chicken, and you know, those big farmers needed somebody and we needed food. But I mean, they weren't bad to us because like when we came here, we talked like them. His mother said, boy, we thought they were going to talk high German, they talk worse than us. Because they had a dialect in Germany, and when you're a child, you watch how they say it.
Yes.
And I mean, in the 4 years that
It's
we
natural.
were there, we just took over and talked like them. Not like we talked in, you know. But then we went right back to our own dialect because there was Großmut and we always used like now I spoke
So,
Hungarian.
were you in the Kimsey area there somewhere?
No, we went near Munich. Bavaria.
You really Bavaria. Okay.
It was about 50 kilometers from there, and it was all farmers and all Catholics. We fitted right in there. And like I said, you know what they liked. Now there was different camps from there was 3 dance hall and there was different people there. They didn't like the ones that wanted to be on welfare, but people that worked, they didn't mind, and you can't blame them. I mean, why would they want a bunch of people there and they have to look after? I mean, the government, look, well, it's like here too.
Yeah.
But people that worked, like, they didn't mind the people.
You said earlier about sort of being Schwab,
Schwab.
German.
Yeah, Schwab. They called us the Schwab. But we're not, because Katie says in this here, at the end, you're going to read it. She says that, well, and I talked to her, yeah, help yourself.
I still got beer, thank you.
Maybe a little bit of
She said
African
that that's where we originate from, I think in 1749 or whenever. It's in here. That
1749?
yeah, our people went from, will you have a sweet one? Terry, will
I'll
you
have just a little bit of that.
apricot?
This is a Hungarian glass too.
I just brought these last time, 3 years ago,
From
and I
Hungary?
went over, yeah.
Don't drop them.
Our cousin
That's
gave
it.
it to us, gave it to me.
Oh, this is- Kenny got a green one, but I saw
That's
red.
it.
Yeah,
It's all red?
For you.
yeah,
You have a little bit too?
you have some,
How about you?
yeah, I have a little.
Okay.
See, now when you go to Hungary, you go visiting, you go from one place to another, and they bring you 3 drinks all at once for everybody on a tray. And
Really?
here I don't even give you one.
Sorry.
Sorry about
I'm still trying to catch
Just
up.
for you, just
So,
a
yes,
little
that's
bit, okay? Sorry.
Sorry about that, but I let you sit here so long and don't give you a drink.
Well,
Not
I
that
like-
I'm stingy.
I have to.
Hardly.
Hardly.
Cheers.
I have a toast to you to say thank you very, very much
Thanks for bringing us together.
for what you did today to tell us about all these things. So, we interrupted now.
Stand over there.
In 1749,
Oh, okay.
That's what she said, that's what
that they came from where?
from Bavaria.
From Bavaria.
Terry.
Their family. No, you sit there. He wants
No,
to get your
you
picture.
get here.
Get your.
No,
We got the camera ready. We'll do it later.
oh,
Doesn't matter.
you come here.
There'll be a whole bunch of people that each take
Come
them
on.
down once. I got my camera. I'll do it. No, you sit there. I
He
have my
didn't
own
say
little
we
camera.
want you, whether you're rich or poor.
Yeah, all he did was check my teeth when he got me. That was it.
Oh,
Well,
That's-
maybe a little more than that. But he didn't check the money. It's just a big mistake.
you, oh,
So we'll have a picture of us, have a toast to the good relatives that we got.
yes.
Tell me where you're not on flash.
Very nice
See,
glasses too.
Terry,
Beautiful.
you got him the land.
Yes.
Right on.
I come from a family who understands land.
Yeah.
He's rich because you got the land.
Yeah, I was a city slicker.
Yes, yeah.
We have to have room for a cow.
have.
Oh, now that's gonna be good. You can do the professional smile?
Yeah, it's really
Okay,
Grab
hold
the
on.
camera.
Yeah,
Just
point and shoot.
wait and shoot here.
This black guy?
Black I am.
Oh. Wow, that's nice. Want me to do another one?
Why not? Teresa's still smiling.
Bless the button, sorry, you guys.
Okay, you get in one, Terry?
Yeah, you go in there.
Not without my drink.
These are really pretty glasses, eh?
Yeah, they
Sure
are.
know
They're
that.
Beautiful.
Yeah. My cousin gave me these.
These are, this glass factory was,
They're
Yeah, they
from
were
the
supposed
glass factory.
which was close to your,
Did it flash?
where you were.
Everybody,
Yes, it did.
everybody
Sure did.
works there. All the,
Oh, thanks,
all
you got
the
one on
rela-
mine.
Yeah, it's close.
Here's, you can tell if people light comes on.
all the relatives work in the glass
Mhm.
factory, yeah. They make them for Sears. When I was there, my...
Simpson
yeah.
Sears?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, this, yeah, they make them for Sears.
It's all right.
But I'm gonna tell you something. The first time in '82, when we went, I slept at my cousin's fixator, you
Mhm.
know,
Yep.
and Auntie Annie's youngest brother, Florian Auntie Annie, her brother lives right across the street, and our cousin's daughter lived across the street. So she didn't have the indoor plumbing, so she says, you go to my daughter and you can take a bath there. So it was 8 o'clock, I'm in my house coat, and walk outside to go over to Morito, you know,
Mhm.
to
Yep.
Teresa's daughter. And Auntie Annie's brother came up, you gotta come to my house and have a drink. So Steve and I went in there, so first
You're in your
we,
nightgown?
we had in my house coat. We had one of our cousins, her Fatty was still young at that time. We had a drink there. We go to Auntie Amy's brother, we had a drink. By 8, then we went to her to take a bath, to her daughter. By 8 o'clock we went to 3 different houses having a drink.
You're lucky you didn't drown when you had your bath.
Yeah, the apricot brandy's nice. Haven't had that for a while.
You used to have little glasses like this somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
Probably from your
Most of them
mom.
are kind of broken, so
Are they? They're not colored though, are they?
always just have clear ones.
Yeah. They must have come from
These
your
are
mom.
really beautiful, aren't they? Holy smokes. Intricate design
Yep.
and stuff.
Yeah, they're nice actually.
Just amazing.
Maybe you're wondering what we should do the first, those middle 2 weeks in July, maybe we should go to Germany. I know,
Yeah,
I know.
Terry's enthusiastic, yeah.
I just love to go places. We should. Why the hell not?
If we're gonna go, go big.
There is no other one. It's pretty here, hey? They did well. Beautiful big trees. It looks nice here, Aunt Theresa.
What?
Your yard and everything. I was only here in the winter before. When did you move in?
Well, I moved in September.
And then in the winter I came, when we brought you the papers and the
Yes,
trees,
to sign,
the
yeah.
trees didn't have any leaves by then.
Yeah.
The tablecloth is beautiful too. Did you get that in Hungary or in Germany? On your table in the living room?
I got that from a Jewish lady.
A Jewish lady.
I used to work for her.
Can I give you some help too?
No, I just gotta boil the potatoes and that, and I put the stuff in the oven. So
Mhm. So who's coming? Uncle John,
Tony
Your
and
dad?
Amy
Tony and Annie,
and Adeline.
and Adeline.
I don't know if Johnny's coming or not. He doesn't go places. With him, it's a guess.
Johnny Kuchera?
Yeah.
He doesn't go places?
Yeah, sometimes he
Did,
comes,
did he
sometimes
did
he
he
doesn't.
come to your place last time? Yeah, he did.
Oh,
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
he
he
did.
came once, yeah.
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 So
Maybe
don't
he'll come
expect
this
him
time.
again.
Yeah. He saw what it was like, and that was all he wanted to know, eh?
Yeah.
Isn't this beautiful? Ken? Have you ever seen this? You only weren't here before.
Nope.
And I told them whoever wants to come can come.
Yeah, for sure.
Why not? Why will do it? They're welcome to come. I made fried chicken
Oh, yeah.
and ham.